Coming out. I love it. He always says coming out.
Coming out.
Something about that just doesn't sound right. Welcome back, everybody. I want to apologize first for that last segment. I know it was boring, but there's just things that you need to know when you're thinking about buying a bander. Everybody's going to tell you what they want to do to sell you their bander.
Yep.
And what I try to do, and most of you that have seen me at the shows, is I'll tell you about banders in general. And I always say, whether it's our bander you're buying or somebody else's, this is what you need to check for. That's what's important. You know, don't look so much at what the salesman's telling you. Try to understand what he's saying about the machine in general. Okay?
Sure.
So anyway, welcome to the world of Veritex. This is the EP25. Until a few years ago, this was their top-of-the-line edge bander. The EP35 is now the top of the line, but in my opinion, this bander is top of the line. It's the most bang for the buck. You have the least amount of problems with it. It requires no air. It's a 220 single phase. You can put it in a dryer outlet. The way the machine is designed, you can put it up on wheels very easily. It's a small footprint. It only takes up 6 feet long, 36 to 40 inches deep.
Okay.
So you can slide it out of the way in your shop. For a small shop, it is absolutely an awesome bander.
This piece here slides out.
Right.
I see.
This slides out.
Okay.
And it locks. It locks in place underneath. There's a locking knob here on both sides. And what that's for is so you can handle larger materials running through.
Okay.
It'll do a 4x8 sheet. It'll pull it through by itself. If you're doing an 8-foot sheet, the end of it, you have to support it out at this end. Just hold it and walk it through.
This little machine's going to, a 4x8 sheet will go
Oh,
through
absolutely.
it. Oh,
Not
wow,
a problem
that's
at all.
impressive.
I'm telling you, this is a workhorse. It really, really is. We've been selling this bander for 21 years.
Okay.
Veritex is the only line that we sell through Specialty Tools. It's just a great machine. Let's take a look at the inside, and I'll kind of give you an idea of start to finish what this machine is all about. The material, whether it's high-pressure laminate, wood veneer, what have you, is set on this rack.
Okay.
This rack spins.
Okay.
So this is like your, just like a feeder. Comes through here, and then this track here, this is like threading a needle.
Okay.
This is adjustable up and down for the height thickness of your banding. Okay. Then it goes in between these two gears right here, and when you pull this geared roller grabs it and pulls it through, and you can't see it real well, but there's a track in here, and it's shaped like a C.
It is.
And
Okay.
the material slides through like this, so it's captive.
I see.
All right?
I can see this is kind of textured, so that enables it to grab it.
Yeah, this is like a knurled
Okay.
roller pressing against a rubbered roller, so it grabs it tightly and pulls it through.
Yeah, very impressive.
So basically what you do is there's an end cutter that is right in this housing right here.
Okay.
Beyond that is the heater, and this is a heated platen.
Okay.
So what happens is for right now, you stop right there for your first piece.
I see.
Now, one of the advantages to this machine also, it does have a heated platen, and what that does is it just takes and warms up the board just a little bit before it goes into the machine to accept the hot melt that is heated on the glue. Okay.
Now I'm surprised, John. I don't see any places to put like a dust collection or anything
No
like
dust
that.
collection is required.
Oh, really? It doesn't make a lot of dust?
No, because what it does is actually right here there's a top and a bottom trimmer,
I see.
and there's a relationship between the cutter and these bearings so that they remain like a copy wheel. But they come out, and it's about a 2-inch diameter cutter. And instead of cutting the material like a router and causing dust, it slices it and just makes strips. And the strips go out the machine and down onto the floor.
Oh, very simple.
Now, what would happen is, before we go ahead and try this machine, is your board would be along this straight edge, and then it picks up this knurled roller, and then it's advancing the material right now. And as you can see, the material would be hitting the board right there.
Oh, I see.
And at that point, it picks up on that roller. The pressure from the power feeder holds tight against the board and will just actually pull it through, and it actually moves away from this roller at this point.
And at that point, it's heated up the tape enough to adhere to that board there.
That's correct.
Very
right.
good.
Okay.
Very good.
And now moving forward, and this is as far as I can go in a demonstration, but there's top and bottom cutters here. But let me show you. Let me back this up real quick and just show you what I mean by copy wheels. When you adjust this machine, as long as these bearings go up and down, it's going to cut flush top and bottom.
Okay, I see.
All right, so that's the beauty of this machine, is that you don't have to be, all the adjustments don't have to be perfect. If you dial this in and it's you're 1 or 2 dials off, as long as those are moving, you have no problem.
Okay.
The only time you have to worry about these really being critical is if you're doing wood veneer. If they're too tight, it's going to actually squeeze a line in the wood veneer that you may not notice until you go to finish it.
Oh,
and then you're going to have a line all the way around the door, and it's going to be like, oh crap.
Yeah,
okay?
sure.
All right. This trims with an end cutter. I mentioned the end cutter here cuts off the back. It actually cuts it off before it applies it. And it does that with this pressure switch right here. When the board comes on this switch, with the switch down, it's telling the machine, hey, there's a board on me. Okay? So as it moves through, it hits this next pressure switch. That turns on the top and bottom trimmer, and then moves through. And then when this one pops off, that cuts the material.
Oh,
okay?
so it actually trims it off the end there.
That's correct, exactly.
No kidding.
Okay?
Wow.
So then this is going to continue on, and then there's a guillotine in here that actually cuts while it's moving, so it always cuts flush in the front.
I see.
All right?
Very good.
If there's a problem with this machine at all, it's that right there. If your temperature is not right and your glue comes through too hot, you start to drag glue, and you get glue on that cutter, and it gets jammed up.
Okay.
So you want to watch your temperatures, and while this is heating up, I'll go ahead and talk to you about how to tell what temperature to use on your particular machine. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and close this right up. Oh, I did want to mention, you can't see it, you'll just have to trust me, but this has a continuous belt power feeder. It's not individual rollers. There's like a gummy belt on the bottom, so it's got 100% contact on the board all the time.
Oh, that's great.
So you've got good grip on it. That's why it can pull a 4x8 sheet through without any problem at all. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So we'll go ahead and close the machine up.
And this is the motor here
This is the motor for the drive belt.
for the drive belt.
There's a
Turns
small
that back
motor
and
in the
forth.
back here that operates the top and bottom trimmer, and it works on belts. All right. And then there's a heater motor that's built into the machine in the bottom, which is a hot air blower.
Right.
Now, once you've opened the door, the safety on the machine cuts everything off on top and moves it to the bottom. So there's a switch on the bottom. This has to be turned on first before you can activate the machine, and now we can turn the heater on. Okay? This dial right here is called a potentiometer, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. And what it does is you turn this up all the way and it heats up really fast, or you can turn it to the temperature you want, and when it gets there, it gets there slower, but it gets there. Generally what you'll do is once you know what banding you're using, what temperature you're going to use, you just mark this with a pencil and either mark it PVC or wood.
Oh,
And
okay.
try to stay with the same manufacturer because the glues are going to be the same.
That makes sense.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this heat up, and I had mentioned it. There's a way to find out what temperature glue to use. Now, on anybody's bander, whether it's ours or anybody else's, the important thing is the glue temperature. You can see, it's nice and warm
feel the
back there.
heat.
You can keep, you can put a tray back there and keep pizza warm back there.
There you go. There you go. That'd be great.
All right, now, what you want to do is you want to cut yourself a half a dozen boards, about 10 by 10, and you want to set your temperature about 450 degrees on this dial right here. All right?
Well, that's just to test the machine out.
This is to test what temperature you want to run your glue at.
I see.
Okay?
Yep.
So you'd mark this at 450,
Okay.
455, 460, 465, and so on.
I see.
Now, you start with the coolest temperature, and you're going to run a board through. And then go to the next one, dial it up, wait till that temperature comes up, and do the next one.
That's going to help show which does the best job as far as bonding and
Right,
and
because what's going to
everything
happen is when they cool, you're going to start to tear them off one at a time, and they will pull off at the lower temperatures. And you want to get to where the point where you have the most adequate bond and the lowest temperature. You want to run the temperature low, especially if you're running wood veneer. It's easy to run it over temperature and not even know it. And it squeezes out all over, it gets all over the machine, and it's a mess.
So before you cut up your whole job and run, let's say, 200 boards through, doing a little tuning will help you out.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about
Okay.
it. So I think we're ready here. we're going to go ahead and run a board through.
Okay.
And I always hold my breath when I'm doing a demo, especially on a machine with moving parts. But if everything is all set here, the theory is the board's going to go right through and it's going to come out all done, but it doesn't have a scrape or buff station. And we'll talk about that when it comes out the other end. So all we're going to do is we're going to make sure we're tight against the fence.
Okay.
The power feeder's going to grab it. It picks up the material. That's your top and bottom trimmer coming on. It just end cut it.
Yep.
It just front cut it. And it comes out on this end.
Oh, look at that, John.
No kidding. They work great.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I had mentioned that this machine does not have a top or bottom end cutter.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry.
What you got there?
No,
I can use that on me, are you?
It doesn't have a scrape station or a buffer.
Yep.
All right. So what happens is you can't see it and you can't feel it, obviously, but there's a little bit of glue buildup right on here that would have normally been taken off.
Okay, yeah, I can
See
feel
that?
it just a little bit, not
Right.
much.
The wood
though.
is flush,
The wood
but
is
the glue
flush,
is there.
yep.
So all I do is take a knife or a scraper of any kind and just do that, and that takes it right off, and you end up with a nice flush cut.
That's a finished product then, right there.
At the show, I use my nails, but then they get all cut up real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a finished product. Now, you'll notice this is flush on both ends.
Sure.
And what that allows you to do, let me turn this on real quick here. You can now take this and run it through the next panel without a problem.
I see.
So we're still heated up. Our edge banding has been cut for an end cut, so it's now automatically ready for the next board.
Okay.
You can put one board in after another without a problem, with just leaving a few inches between it. Okay. So we're going to take the next board. We're going to run it through. It's picking up there, dragging it. Top and bottom trimmer, end cutter.
Wow, take a look at that.
All right, now there's what you want to look at right there. Now can we get a close-up shot of that?
You see how that came out real flush there, flush here, flush here. And that's, you know, like you said, you want to scrape that again, but this is a finished product here.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You put this for a corner shelf or anything
Yep.
you want to use it for.
So
Can you
this
get a picture of
machine will handle from half-inch thick material to 2-inch thick, 2.5-inch thick material. Again, it does top and bottom trim. It does front and back end trim.
Yeah.
It has copy wheels that allow you to not have to dial in the adjustment just perfectly. It's 220 volt, single phase. It's portable. You know, like I said, we've been selling it for 21 years. I don't think we would offer any hot air bander of this style other than Veritex. Now, one thing I do want to show you, a lot of people, and this is something that is very important, when you're at a show, everybody can show this. This is wood veneer, and this material is so forgiving. You can have that temperature wild, and it's still going to apply it.
Okay. Okay.
What you want to look for is, can you put on PVC?
Okay.
And a lot of guys will say, oh yeah, it'll do that, but I don't happen to have any with me.
Okay.
I always bring it to the show. It's very rare that I forget it. But what you want to do is you want to see the machine run with PVC. The reason for that is that the temperature and the feed rate is critical, and PVC can be melted very easily.
Oh, it can.
PVC can't be applied with a hot iron because it has to be heated from the glue side.
But it's very similar. You got the pre-glued on the back side.
Right.
And there's your finished product on
That's
there.
correct. And this is available in over 900 colors to match wood veneers, or wood grains, the nebulas, solid colors and what have you, the marbles and all that. So
Okay.
this is an odd color here. This happened to have been just a return. So anyway, so we're going to feed it through the same way we did the wood veneer. If we're not changing board size, there's no reason to make any adjustments at all to this machine.
Really? You don't have to make the adjustments?
Nope, you shouldn't have to.
Oh.
Now this material happens to be a little bit wider, so what we're going to do, I'm going to put my glasses on here, and we're going to open the C-track, and we're going to adjust it so that the material will slide in there without getting jammed.
I see.
Okay.
The camera can't see this, but there's a track right here that adjusts up and down.
Up and down, and
Okay.
it holds the material captive. So all we've done is we've done it so that we can move this back.
And that keeps the
back and
material
forth.
from, twisting and turning as it's going through the machine.
Right. Now, just so that you can see that it works, because I tell you, no matter who's going to show you the machine, make sure that it does PVC,
PVC.
if that's what you want to do.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and turn our power back on underneath. We can just go ahead and run the same board through without a problem.
All right.
Okay, I think we're all set here. We're going to run it through. It's going to pick up the material. And see, now here's something that happens. I'm going to show you. There's nothing on it, is there?
No, there's nothing on it.
Okay, all right. Now, this is one thing that I do want to show you, and this does happen, and this is why it's cool to do this live. Because
Part of
we
it
can
is
show.
we didn't have an opportunity to fine-tune it like you would.
Well, no, I'm not going to say that.
Not
I mean,
gonna say that? Okay.
this can happen no matter whether it's fine-tuned or not. Anybody that knows this bander knows that this happens, with anybody's bander, but it happens.
Sure.
What happened was the material advanced partway through, and then it didn't come through the roller properly, and it got cut off. But it's back in there right now, and what we have to do is we have to get that piece out of there. And let me see if I can do it without a whole lot of issue. Since it's PVC, it melts very easily in there. And let me see, what can I put behind that very quickly? Maybe this. Here. Okay, here we go. All right, here's what you got. And this happens. I mean, it's as simple as that.
I can see how it melted on the end there.
Yeah. Well, actually, what happened was we had it set too hot.
Okay.
So when the banding came through, rather than coming out straight, it went to the back of the roller. Okay.
Yep.
So again, let's try this one more time.
Okay. Here's your board.
We'll turn our power on. I'm going to turn my temperature down a little bit. See if we can get it to come out. There we go.
All right, I can see it. They cut it flush on the ends.
Right?
Yep.
So it cut flush right there. It's perfect. Now we're a little bit long here, if you can see that, and the reason is because PVC stretches.
Oh, it does.
Now that adjustment is made very easily by moving this switch back and forth, and there's a little lever underneath which you can't see, and we're not set up with a camera to show you, but this just moves back and forth, and it changes the timing on that.
So you can fine-tune it if you have
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you can see very well that we've got a nice flush cut here. That's a perfect edge band. Nothing wrong with that at all. We're flush here at the corner, and it's a great job.
Yeah, that's impressive, John. It's very impressive. So this was the machine we talked about earlier.
Right.
And
EP25.
Works great for
it's a
small
powerhouse.
shops.
They have an EB10C, which is a small tabletop model that works well. And I can see we are out of time, although Chris hasn't been hammering me yet, but I guess we're just about ready to go off the air. But anyway, if anybody's interested in the demo, it does work. Now that we've set the temperature right, it's available. And for an hour after the show, we're offering them freight-free.
Freight-free.
Freight-free,
Better
absolutely,
take
which is a
advantage
great
of
deal.
Yep.
But seriously, folks, this bander is the only bander I would sell. I think it is the best bander for the money. Veritex is a great product. It's manufactured in Spain. All the parts, if you need any, are inventoried in New York.
In New York.
In New York, so you can get them next day if you need them. I wouldn't sell any other machine.
And I tell you, I know the vendor, Ali, out there. Ali's a great guy.
Great guy. A little hard to understand sometimes. Everybody says, they call me and they go, you know, I call out there and I can't understand him.
Yeah.
But
he really works with you, and he's a great guy to work with. So.
All right. Well, thanks for being with us tonight. Joel, I want to thank you for filling in for Ken. You did a great job. Ken, your job is in jeopardy.
No, it's not. Trust me. Ken's got a lot to say.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you in 2 weeks. I'm not sure what we're going to be showing, but we'll be here. Thanks for joining us.
Sounds good.
Good night.
Thanks.